On the 31st of July, I ended up going to hospital to have surgery. This is what happened. Okay, so on the 31st of July, at around 2 to 3 am, I was sitting down on my chair just playing and listening to music, when suddenly I felt a huge pain going on in my testicle area. I didn't think anything of it until the pain wouldn't go. It stayed there all night and it made sleeping an issue. Later on in the day, I ended up having it hurting so bad that I ended up going to a healthcare centre. After getting there, I saw a doctor and they told me to go to hospital since they can't do anything about it since they just checked up on their health. So when arriving at the hospital, I sat there for around 10 to 15 minutes until a doctor came to see me. They were with me for around 2 to 3 minutes until they gave me a tube and asked for a urine sample. So I went to do that in the toilets. I got some on my hands. Thought that would be something to mention. Yes, I did wash my hands after. And I gave it to the doctor. Then sat down for around 5 minutes whilst they were checking the sample and told me to go to another hospital urgently to see a urologist. So, going to that third hospital, I waited again for a while. Then a doctor came and told me to follow them into a room to have my testicles checked. After that happened, he told me there were three options, because there was a chance of having a twisted or dead testicle. The first option was to get medication and see if that does anything for a couple of days, and if not, to come back and have surgery. The second option was to get a scan on if it was dead or anything happened to it. The third option was surgery. So at first I picked the first one thinking it was the surgery option, then had to tell the doctor I meant the surgery option, since I thought that would be the best one to do, seeing as it would most likely have to happen anyway. 20 minutes go by and I get called in by a woman called Samantha. She was there to ask me the usual questions like if I have any allergies or smoke, etc. She was also talking me through what would happen during the surgery, which definitely helped because I didn't know how they'd do it. I then came back to the waiting room, and 5 minutes after I was called again. This time they told me to lay down on a trolley and they took me to the room right next to where I'll be having surgery. They put some tubes in my arm so that I'd still be breathing throughout the process, and put a peg on my finger so that they can still see my heartbeat. She also talked to me about what I'd regularly be doing if not being in hospital, and if I had a job. I told her about how I'm wanting to grow as a YouTuber, and she said that she thinks it's pretty cool that I want to do that. So then the surgery was coming. I got put onto a breathing tube and had some anesthetic to have me passed out during the time. I never even realised that it happened. When waking up I could hear voices, but couldn't process anything that was happening. Didn't know where I was. Couldn't open my eyes properly, and I was being taken to a room to sleep for during the night. As being taken there, my legs kept shaking uncontrollably, but was hopefully able to calm them down, but also kept passing out. Then as I got into the room, they asked me if I can get onto the bed to sleep for the night, or if they need to push me onto it, since I couldn't really move, but was able to move slowly onto the bed. It was a struggle to sleep at night because there was loads of other patients and loads of noises. I also kept having my blood pressure checked around every half an hour. The morning then came. The nurse then said good morning and said that I can see my eyes, because I was still out of it and couldn't open them all the way during the night. I got asked if I could urinate into a tube so that they can get it checked, but I couldn't do it. After standing up for around 3 minutes I got nauseous and lightheaded, then fell back onto the bed and ended up throwing up. The nurse then checked straight away on me and gave me some medication and some morphine to have the pain go and feel better. I skipped breakfast because I wasn't hungry, same with lunch. Didn't drink much either, but there was someone called Roy who would help me with things, such as shutting the window for me because it was absolutely freezing, getting me a new change of clothes to wash myself. He also checked my bladder after a while since I couldn't urinate at all, no matter how hard I tried, and they needed the sample. A while goes by and another nurse comes in to check on my blood and took 2 tubes of it. The prick stung at first, but the blood being withdrawn didn't feel too bad. Another doctor came in after a while and told me that I could be discharged from the hospital today or I could stay another night. So I chose to leave that day to get some rest at home since the beds in the hospital weren't really comfy. They told me that I didn't have any twist on the testicles and that I didn't die, which was really good to hear. The original problem with it was that there was a cyst that was stuck on there, but during the surgery it was able to be removed. Hours later I was finally able to urinate. It took over 10 hours for this to happen. And then Roy, the doctor from earlier, came back and told me that everything was good to go and that he'd get the nurse. That's where the nurse called Nicole came in and said that I'll be able to go home, that I will be put on medication, needing to take 3 tablets a day for 5 days. As walking to the car park, it was really painful to walk. At the time it was also painful to talk. My neck was aching heavily, but was able to get home just fine. Then for the next 5 days I stayed in bed and took the medication. I'm recording this on the 10th of August and right now I feel much better. So that's basically everything that happened. There will be more videos that will be coming soon, so I hope you enjoy them. Don't forget to subscribe because it will really help.